Evening all, let me just get rid of these little warning messages. Everyone, there you go. Morning all, evening all, afternoon everybody. Hope well, hope you're staying safe. First of all, can I say that I know the internet sucks where I am, so this all might be a little bit, and I hope it's not too bad, but it might be. So what am I doing a live for? I'm obviously not at the bees. I'm obviously sat in a car. If it's not obvious, I'm in a car. What am I doing? The reason for this live stream basically is to let you guys know what is going on with our beekeeping channel and our beekeeping issues and stuff like that at the moment. And I just thought it seemed like a nicer way of doing it rather than doing a couple of videos which are not that great and then putting them together and putting you through it. But I want to obviously do it as just a live stream because it's just an easier way and a better way, I feel, to keep people updated with things that are going on. So what's happening now? As people that have been following my channel for quite some time knows the fact that I love beekeeping. It is a passion of mine. It is in my blood. It is something that I want to carry on doing, and it's something that I really love doing. What you'll also know is that I have 3 children. I've got my eldest, which is Lucas, who is now 7. My middle child, which has had a whole load of problems, which I've talked about plenty of times on this channel, who's now 5. Sorry. And my youngest, Heidi, she's obviously just recently joined us. She's 10 months old now. And the family has got the family takes over. Family life is anybody that's got children which follows the channel that joins us or anything like that. People know that family needs to come first. It's just the way it is. And so that being said, the beekeeping has had to take quite a back step for me. You've got myself, which works full-time hours. You've got my wife, which works full-time hours. You've then obviously got 2 of my children, which are in school, and one of them, which isn't. She's not in school at the moment. She's too young. She's not going into that. She's not going into nursery, I don't think, until September. And even then, that's going to be 1 day a week because childcare is ridiculously expensive. So what does that mean for the bees, which is what I want to try and get onto. Now, I went into the season, I started the season with 7 hives, including the bee house, which I'll get onto. But I needed to downsize. I really have had to downsize. I've sold 3 of the hives off. That would be Brenda has gone, Cindy has gone, and one of our newer hives. I don't actually think we've got around to naming the hive yet, but 3 of them have gone. Am I looking to maybe offload maybe 1 or 2 more? I haven't decided yet. The bee house is still with us. Currently, the bee house has got a hive which is established on one side, which I think was Eve, if my memory serves me right. And on the other side, we caught a big up swarm, which came from probably Abby. And she's gone into the other side of the bee house now as well. So I'm hoping that that whole bee house can sort itself out and just be okay for the next however long. And then hopefully moving down the line, I'll talk about the bee house again in a minute. But basically what we've done, we've now gone down to essentially 4 hives. All the hives are being moved down to the bottom end of the yard. That's humming. The bee house has already moved. The rest of them will be moved down as and when I can. Reason behind that, again, I'll explain why. The hope is potentially to allow the animals, the other sheep and things like that, to go into that part of the yard even, so they can try and keep the grass down for me. If you have a look at the yard now, where the bees are, the grass is ridiculous. It's like well, it's over the normal hive. So we've got 14 by 12 with a super on and the roof, and it's higher than that. So it's it's a meter and a bit in height. The grass is, and I just haven't had time to get around to cutting it. So yeah, so we just timing issues at the moment is just killing us. So that's why at the moment the bees are really taking a back step. This channel is taking a massive knock. I haven't done a video. This is the first video I've done in yonks. I feel, I was trying to, when this season started, my hope was really to get a video banged out every week, or every time we were at the hives, things like that. But I'm just not getting up to the hives. I'm not getting the videos. I'm not getting the content and all that sort of stuff. So the fact that people are still subscribed to the channel is an absolute miracle, to be perfectly honest. And I wouldn't blame anyone who watches this live or watches this video when it goes out as a video to immediately hit that unsubscribe button and think, well, he's done, and what's the point? But the hope is this year. Well, before I move on to the hopes, what isn't going to happen this year is any plans which I've said up until now is not going to happen. The grapes aren't going to happen. The flowers, not the wheat's not going to happen. The wildflowers not going to happen. Splitting hives, that's not going to happen. All of that's just not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen this season. I just don't have the time to be able to commit to it. Videos, I'm never going to be able to commit to one video a week because I'm not at the hives once a week anymore. I will get things up and running as I can. But I just obviously have absolute zero schedule at this point in time to be able to put them up. The hope is, I'm moving on to that now, that next year, the kids are going to be in school. Obviously, me and my wife, all being well, will still be in full-time work. The hope is that my kids will obviously be in full-time education still. They'll be still in school. And Heidi will be hopefully in at least one day a week. If that then coincides by the time that I'm not in work, then that will allow me to go off and do some bee work, and then be able to start committing myself to some more hives, more, and get the bees a bit more. But that's just not going to happen this year, unfortunately. Like I said, I sold 3 hives the other day, completely, absolutely underpriced the selling of these hives. Thankfully, they've gone to one of my friends. She's a great beekeeper, and she's tutoring somebody at the moment, and these hives are going to be well looked after, and they've gone to good use. So training a new chap, and like I said, my friend as well, she's really good with the bees. So I know they've gone to a good place. I completely undercut the price of them purely because of the fact that I just needed them gone. I needed them moved on. I needed to free up some time. So that leaves us with 3 hives, which is Abby, Summer, and Dema, I believe. And we've also then got Eve in the bee house, and now a swarm, which we've recently caught as well, also in the bee house. I'm hoping the bee house can just be left alone. The plan of that next season is going to be that when we are in a position where they can then be moved again, so they're going to be put into a normal national hive. So basically, kind of using the bee house as almost like a bee nursery, I suppose. Put them in, then, for example, putting a swarm in there, letting them grow, letting them do what they need to do, and then re-establishing them into a new hive, and then adding supers on top of that, because there's a whole lot of things I don't like about the bee house, and the main thing is being the supers. I can't stand the supers. I think they're ridiculous, and so I don't want to use any of them. So I want to try and use that. I was almost like a nursery bee hive and moving them up. So that's the bee house. That's what's going on with that one. Honey videos and things like that, I genuinely have absolutely no idea if I'm going to get much, if any, honey this year, because I'm going to go up there when I can, with the 3 remaining hives, or sorry, 3 remaining hives that I've got this side of the shed. They're going to be moved down to the bottom, and the plan is basically stick a queen excluder on, stick a couple of supers on, and see what happens. I want to give them as much space as I can, just to when the blackberries come out, they can try and fill up the supers rather than getting to a point where they're going to swarm off, and kind of hope for the best. That's literally what I'm going to do. Obviously, I'll do a treatment during the end of summer. I'll do a treatment, but apart from that, that's pretty much as I've got planned, and it's all down to just not having the time. I don't want to give up beekeeping altogether because I really, really enjoy it. It's a zen moment for me. It gets me away from the hustle and the bustle and all that sort of stuff. But why haven't you heard from me for this long? Why aren't I posting videos? Why aren't I doing shorts? Why aren't I doing this, that, and the other? It's purely down to time. Now, I have got another channel kind of going at the moment, and that is something that I can do in the evening, put my feet up, sit down, and do something like that. But that's not going to take anything away from the bees. If I could quit that and put the time into the bees, I would, but I can't. It's the time that if I could go down to the bees at 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening when I'm doing work with my other channel, then I would. But obviously that's now too late to be able to actually do anything with regards to beekeeping. So what am I doing at the moment regarding these bees? These bees are literally going to be supered up, left alone, moved down, and that's pretty much it. I'll obviously try and get inspections done as and when I can. I know I should be doing them every other week, every week, whatever. But you know, unfortunately, not unfortunately. Unfortunately is probably the bad way of saying it. Family comes first for me, and my time is better spent elsewhere. So like I said, if you do unsubscribe to this channel, I don't blame you. I really don't. You're not going to get beekeeping videos every single week. You're going to get beekeeping videos maybe once a month. Realistically speaking, that's probably how it's going to go for the foreseeable up until next season. I'll try and do some updates as and when I can, but realistically speaking, that's what it's going to be. What can I say about that? It's just the way it is. But anyone that does stick with me, massive thank you. I really appreciate every bit of support that everyone has given me, and I really appreciate support going forwards as well. Like I said, next year we will be a lot more on it, as long as Heidi's day in nursery coincides with my day of work, which I'm sure it should do. You know, last year it was different as well. I said my work has got so ridiculously busy at the moment, I can't even get any leave. You know, you put a leave request to try and get some time off, and they laugh at you pretty much. It just doesn't exist. Leave at work doesn't exist. Before, I said on a day shift like I've just been on, I used to be able to start at 7 in the morning, get to about 12, 1 o'clock, and think, let's get some leave in. I can go and do the bees before I go home. Then just doesn't exist anymore. You just can't get time off from work at the moment. It's ridiculously busy. That being said, I digress slightly. Massive thank yous to everybody. I do hope everyone's well. I do hope everyone's bees, everyone's family, all that sort of stuff is enjoying themselves. I'm going to leave it there, and you have yourselves an amazing day. All the best, yeah.